Alright, we are recording, and yeah, I'm back in Satisfactory because while at the moment I'm not that busy, I've been just very tired. I had to get some stuff done earlier this week, and I was also up kind of late last night getting ready for some work that'll hopefully be completely starting next week. It might only be partially starting next week. It's a thing. But hopefully it won't be too long before that's out. I'm able to finish all that. So yeah, I figured, and I was messing with this last weekend, and I think I came up with some nice things. One thing is I changed the setup here to be turbo fuel. So I'm going to look at that, but also I do have notes. I actually thought to take notes, and it's a good thing too because there was some actually very interesting stuff. Let me see. I got written out here the Intel Architecture Day stuff, Embracer Group, which that's formerly the THQ Nordic parent company thing. It was weird, the whole them having two companies that were named THQ Nordic, but Embracer Group is how they fix that. Fall Guys stuff, and also the Epic Apple situation. I'll start with the Fall Guys because that's fairly easy and very positive. So Fall Guys is a new title. Mediatonic is the developer, Devolver Digital is publisher, and apparently it set a record for Devolver Digital for best launch week at over 2 million copies sold on Steam, which is pretty damn nice. I need to, well, yeah. I'll head over here. What was it, 1.6 million? It's in the Friday video game news roundup thing I wrote. Was it like 1.5, 1.6 million crowns grabbed, which it's a battle royale game featuring clumsy characters trying to do physical challenges. Fall Guys, that's what they are. But you win when you grab the crown, and it was like 1.5, 1.6 million crowns, but 60 million Fall Guys fell over. And it's like, that's impressive, because considering the shape like jelly beans, you kind of expect it to be more. Anyway, talking a little bit about here. So, in order to make turbo fuel, there's actually more than one recipe. This is the one I have. Is heavy oil residue with compacted coal. The other recipe, and I'm not sure why I don't have this, I'll have to at some point collect hard drives to try to unlock it, is fuel, just normal fuel, mixed with the compacted coal. Honestly, this is fine because like I already have for the aluminum process set up for making the heavy oil residue, but it's a lot simpler than the diluted fuel. But that didn't stop me from doing work on it. So in order to get this set up, I went over here and am mining a lot of coal from one of the 3 or 4 nodes right here. Because yeah, there's 2 here. And another, it's like right there, behind the tree. There might actually be another in this area. I don't quite remember. Yeah, quite a few. This is actually a pretty nice spot for a base in some ways. It's a little compact, but you got limestone there for making concrete. That's iron. Caterium there, and there's a copper very nearby as well. I don't quite remember where it is, but it is quite nearby. So then that coal comes up. And there's a sulfur deposit over there. So that comes over, goes into an assembler, which then makes the compacted coal, and then that gets brought over there. I think Embracer Group is going to be the next one that's easiest to cover. So, yeah, the Embracer Group is the name of the company that is like the holding company. I don't know if holding company is quite the right word for it, but it's the company that owns THQ Nordic, owns Koch Media, which owns Deep Silver, owns Coffee Stain Studios. They bought just earlier this year, Saber Interactive, they've acquired now a whole bunch more, including 4A Games, the developers of the Metro franchise. And the Metro franchise, since THQ went under, has been published by Deep Silver. So there's already a connection there, but it's actually Saber Interactive that purchased it, that has acquired 4A Games. And 4A, all these studios, I think it said in the press releases, are remaining independent. But it makes some sense that 4A went to Saber, because Saber's also first-person shooter developers. They did World War Z, which I have and really do want to play at some point. I just keep putting it off. Playing other things like this or doing reviews. So many reviews. Slightly lost train of thought, but one of the things I did say in there was that yes, 4A Games is working on more, but also part of the reason why they're with Saber now is that they have great engine experience and making AAA games. Saber has a lot of multiplayer and live experience stuff. So basically we could, thanks to this, see 4A Games, and I think they did basically say that, yeah, we're working on a new multiplayer game that it'll be probably, I wouldn't be surprised if it's both of them together, but, you know, imagine the makers of Metro making a multiplayer game. I think that could be quite enjoyable, quite good. I think I'll do the Intel Architecture Day stuff next, but I want to cover this. So, yeah, got the heavy oil residue coming in, and by the way, this is not optimally designed. If I wanted that, I would build a lot more right here. I may have another one of those there, and I'd also put out more fuel generators. But it takes the heavy oil residue in and the compact coal and spits out the turbo heavy fuel. Yeah. Now, oh, okay, yeah, so that makes sense. This is turbo heavy fuel. There's also turbo fuel, and that's the just compacted coal and fuel. As you can see, it's not producing anything because everything's maxed out. But even though it's like, oh, this is producing so much less than the diluted fuel was, so that's the heavy residual oil with water to make fuel. This uses 4.5 cubic meters a minute of fuel, okay? And I might actually have to look it up because I don't remember if that will... Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up. So can I just go up there? Ah, there it is, okay. Alright, so turbo fuel has 2,000 megajoules per cubic meter. Just normal fuel is 600. So yeah, it's, even though I would have been producing so much more fuel, the turbo fuel is far, far, far more efficient. More than 3 times as efficient. So yeah, that makes a huge difference. But I did not get rid of using the diluted fuel. I'll show you that next, but have to leave here. And there actually is one other thing I'll quickly show here before heading out. And we're actually kind of looking at it. So I've got aluminum going here. You can see it's backed up right there, as well as the copper sheet going in here, because I managed to get an alternate recipe for the heat exchanger, something I do need for things. So just have it set up here to be producing it, and fills this up, and any excess just, you know, goes over there to get destroyed. Alright, autosave. That pretty much covers it here. So I want that. Alright. Gonna take a bit to get there. Oh wait, that's right, there's another thing that I can show. Still need to go this way on the train. So the Intel Architecture Day. So this is I'm just trying to think, what would be the best way to describe the Intel Architecture Day? Intel's been doing it for a few years, probably more than that. I know for a few years because I've looked at the stuff from it. Where it's basically them showing off new technologies, showing off roadmap stuff. It's basically a company trade show. And they showed off definitely some interesting things. Now, of course, they're going to spin some of it very positively because of their struggles with 10 nanometer, 7 nanometer, but it still is pretty neat, some of this stuff. Like a new metal insulator metal capacitor that they're calling that's MIM, so super MIM. So, I don't remember what the values were, but able to more efficiently hold energy in the parts. And also what did they call it? Re-envisioned? Redesigned? FinFET? So that's, how many years ago has it been now? Like 5 years? Maybe more? We saw FinFET, fin field effect transistor designs used because it allowed for basically greater performance without having to go to smaller node sizes. Well, Intel has done some refinement there, and together they're calling these technologies SuperFin, and they are claiming that thanks to this, there's an improvement for just 10 nanometer, so this is being applied to the 10 nanometer process, an improvement akin to a full node leap. But this is an intra-node technology improvement, so it could be very interesting. Now, it's also, I'm not sure if any of the 10 nanometer stuff is all that impressive, but this is still very good because as far as greater performance and such, it's going to help them, and they need to be doing what they can, and this looks like it could be very, very positive. So we're going to see Tiger Lake using it. I don't have those specifics written down. No. But it's definitely an interesting technology that they are going to be deploying in their new CPUs and also in some of the new GPUs. They also shared some information on the product stack, including giving the code name of HPG for what will be the gaming variant of their GPU. Now they will have ray tracing support, which was funny. I think there was one place I saw where it's like, oh, we'll have it. It's like, I think Intel said they were going to have it from the beginning. But it is also true that that kind of support is also desired in the data center parts. So it's not like it would make sense that they would be like, yes, we're going to have it, oh, but it's only going to be in certain parts. So it's reasonable that there was still the question, but yeah, they are doing that. There will be ray tracing support there. I didn't see anything of other technologies like variable rate shading, but I can definitely believe that Intel is going to meet the DirectX 12 Ultimate requirements. It would be weird if they didn't for their first G. They want the gaming stuff to be competitive. They know that's going to be important, at least for marketing purposes. They're getting into the GPU business though because they're going to make money selling the stuff for data centers and such. I mean, but gaming is still important. It happens that people will buy an NVIDIA product over an AMD product, even when the AMD product may be better for like server or data center use, because NVIDIA has things like the 2080 Ti and the Titan RTX. I'm serious. It's been a long time since I saw that point made. But that having the Halo products in gaming does help make people think that, oh, they're going to have better products in other places as well. Even though, for a while, NVIDIA's gaming and professional... gaming and compute, I shouldn't say professional, but gaming and compute architectures have been completely separated. And now we're seeing that with AMD, with RDNA and CDNA. Those are separate things, so you could have potentially an RDNA product that is awesome and a CDNA product that isn't. But it doesn't matter, it still helps set the tone of how people have expectations for the company. Okay, so what is all this? And I do have more stuff to talk about as well, but it's like I'm... So this is in part feeding off of the stuff from making parts for railways over there. You can see it coming kind of slowly. But this is for making Nobilists, which are basically TNT. So we got black powder being produced thanks to coal up there and sulfur ways over there. And it's just coming in there using the alternate recipe for the black powder. Oh wait, no. First the compacted coal, and then the fine black powder, which is sulfur and compacted coal. It's a bit more efficient. And it first, well, it fills this up. This was already full by the time I got to that, because this stuff gets produced real fast. Then it, split off and goes into here, where it's feeding to make the Nobilisks with black powder and steel pipe. Unfortunately, there isn't enough steel pipe production to really handle all of this, which is why this row is disabled. Isn't it disabled? Maybe it isn't disabled. I should disable it then. Yeah, it's not disabled. I want the shortest piece. Let me move if I can. I mean, it doesn't matter too much, but it will help. So you're going. You're not going. You're not going. You're not going. Yeah. And you went. And I'll just do that. So these 4 will be a bit more efficient. Or is it 5? No, it's 5. These 5 will be a bit more efficient. Yeah, I really need to expand over there a lot. It's just kind of tough too. And I did actually redesign it to be a bit easier to expand. Okay. Now the next thing I have to go way over there, so I'm just gonna let this pilot me. So with Intel showing off the product stack, at least on paper, for the GPUs, we saw there's LP, which is going to be the entry level and the integrated GPU solution. So that's going to be made on a standard packaging process, but we'll be using the Intel 10nm SuperFin or enhanced SuperFin. They're already, yes, working on enhancements to it. I don't remember which, but those are but that's what that will be on. Interestingly, very interestingly, the HPG, so the graphics card, the discrete graphics cards, which is the next step up in the stack, those will be made on an external process, meaning that could be TSMC or Samsung. That's definitely interesting that Intel is going to have a major product manufactured externally like that. But it is also, this is the gaming. This is just their gaming GPUs. It's not the HP, which is for data center and AI, or the HPC, which is at the very top. That's for the exascale computing stuff. So those are the parts that are basically Intel will be signing contracts in the millions of dollars to supply those things. Those are going to be almost completely made with their own processes. There is, so the HP part, that's made by them, and it will use CoEMIB? Was it? No. It uses EMIB. The HPC will use CoEMIB, I think it was, and Foveros, because it's going to be combining multiple tiles. And one of those tiles, I think it's the base tile, will also be an external process that's making it. So some of even that will be reliant on an external foundry. But you also see, sorry, my mind just briefly turned off there. Don't you hate it when that happens? I'm tired. I need to lie down or something. But you're going to see it using the SuperFin, enhanced SuperFin, the external, and I don't remember what the fourth one was. But basically, multiple technologies for these 4 different tiles. That, by the way, guessing that the tiles are not in like the separate dies that are going to be connected together to form that GPU, but the stacks within the dies, where there's one layer is compute, one layer is memory, I think. Stuff like that. One of those is going to be made externally, and then it's all going to be packaged together, undoubtedly by Intel. And they also showed off some new, well, at least we're teasing some new packaging stuff that does look like it could be quite interesting, and quite powerful, eventually. So, yeah, I mean, they were suggesting that with this new thing you could achieve a huge increase in bandwidth while reducing power. What were they saying? Like, the current Barbarous stuff would... It's 0.15 picojoules per bit. This would be less than 0.5 picojoules per bit, so a huge energy savings as well. I mean, it's... Intel could be described as a sleeping giant since AMD launched Ryzen and basically showed that, hey, there's a lot of innovation left here, and we're proving it. Intel is also a very innovative company. They have all the experts that they need, and the ability to get more. They just, have been very unfortunate in recent years, and may continue for a bit, but they are working on new stuff that will be significant. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Oh yeah, there was one other thing that I just remembered about with the graphics cards. 2021 it said for availability. It's 2021. It didn't say when in 2021, like early or late, just 2021. Fortunately, we got things like hot chips. Well, that's not really when to announce something, but certain things that they may be able to give certain information that'll hint at when it's coming. But also CES 2021 could be a time they announce, yes, it's coming on in this quarter or that quarter. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm definitely interested. I would like to see what they end up doing. It would not surprise me if the first generation Intel graphics cards are competent, and that's about all you can say about them. While it will be like the second generation where they may get their full legs, but they are going to be committed to it though. This isn't going to be, what was it, Larrabee? Was that the name of it before? It's not going to be like that where they abandon it. No, because they know that GPUs, especially for the exascale and data center stuff, is millions, if not billions of dollars. As a total market, it probably is in billions of dollars. They want into that. So that they're not going to leave that. They might not be as interested in having the utmost best graphics cards possible, but they're not going to let them be poor. It will be very interesting to see what kind of competition they bring to the AMD NVIDIA duopoly. Must have just been lighting there. Yeah. Okay. So last thing I have is the Epic Intel situation. But first I'll go through this. So this is very similar to what I had before, where it gets the oil pumped up in there, and then it flows down here, so I've got a nice buffer there, and I'll keep things even. Now, as you can see, though, I got a lot more of these. So this is set up for producing the heavy oil residue, and the polymer resin is then destroyed. So then we got all this heavy oil here, and it actually gets pumped up in there, and in there, and... So this is here for a reason. This is here so that these 5, I believe it is? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. These 5 will feed that one first, and these 5 will feed that one. If, like, this side were to drain out some, then these will fill this up because it won't push up here. But these, because there's so much fluid already here, will be able to overcome and help feed that one. So basically these will be filled in parallel, but there's a priority. Now that's a lot of the heavy oil residue, and it goes in here to make the diluted packaged fuel with the packaged water coming from over here. And I saw somebody once make the comment that it would be really nice if they had packaging and unpackaging buildings so that you didn't have to use these refineries that are 30 megawatts to do their thing, even though they're literally putting water into plastic containers. That's yeah. And every 2, and actually I could turn this stuff down. Oh wait. No, because it's 60 each. So 120 there, so it's 120 to 260s. So I have all these set up basically with their own water pump. All the way down. Why is this not connected? I don't remember. I might have actually done that for a reason. I probably did. I could remedy that though with more of the canisters. Let me see if these are all empty. Yeah, it's slightly submerged. Yeah, they're all empty, so I must have emptied them myself. So I have the capability to greatly increase the amount of water, which, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm not using enough power, would be meaningful. But as you can see, it's like these are all waiting to be used. And then, after the diluted packaged fuel is made, it is unpacked and feeds into these 3 containers. And as you can see, I'm using the same, little kink here so that these prioritize filling that, these that, and the ones down there, that. And then each one of these, yeah, I have that one set up a little differently, feed down into, I think it's 20 each, 10 on both sides, fuel generators, which, yeah, use 15, whereas it was 4.5 for the turbo fuel. They all feed into that, which these take 15 per. This has maximum flow rate of 300, so in theory, all of these, it's not going to be quite that even, because this isn't, it's better balancing than splitters on conveyor belts, but it's not perfect. But it's in theory, all of these could be going at full power, be using all of it, and they will all be getting enough fuel. But it is worth noting that this stuff is not actually set up to producing enough to do that. So this has an output of 60 per minute, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, it is set up. It'll be fine. So there is 300 there. I thought I actually had it a little unbalanced, where there's actually less production here than those can handle. But technically, I could actually hook up more, because so long as I don't go to full power usage, this will be fine. But looking at me, it's like I'm producing about 400 megawatts at most. My capacity is 15.6 gigawatts. I am good. Now, unfortunately, that's still more than. I was like, in theory, I could shut some stuff down and get it to the point where the geothermal is handling all of it, but yeah. And the next thing I'd like to do at some point is actually to go up here to this desert and set up basically all this, but for turbo fuel, because there is enough there to do that. It'll be nuts. Alright. So with that, I think I can just, run around and do whatever. And talk about the Epic Apple situation, which I have not followed too closely because honestly I don't care that much about Fortnite. It's like I've played 9 games, I've won 2. I can't do better than that. Why should I care? And I'm completely serious. I've only played 9 games and I've won the 8th and the 9th. I cannot do better than this. Therefore, I will not try it. There you are. I knew that there would be multiple. I screwed up there a little bit. So the situation is a little similar to what led to Origin. EA's Origin, in that... Where'd it go? Oh, there. In that Apple and also Google with the Play Store both have a requirement that basically any purchase that can be made must be able to be made, or must be made, through the through that store. The problem is that also translates to they get a cut, and it's a 30% cut, I want to say, of every transaction. So basically, every time somebody purchases V-Bucks, I think it is, in Fortnite, but every time those are purchased on iOS or on Android, at least if it's the official, like installed via the Play Store on Android, it 30% of that, almost a third of that, goes to the that store. So Apple's made millions just off of that, and just from Fortnite. I mean, it's, kind of nuts when you think of that. Damn. So it makes sense that, they'd want to challenge it. The Epic, the company that has decided to take on Steam and how much it takes out of sales, has decided to challenge Apple for doing the same thing. But they, fully decided that they picked this battle. Because they made the change and discounted the V-Bucks as well. I think that's explosive. Yeah, it is. Oh, I don't really... Well, I'll take it. Sometimes the rocks reappear. And I haven't looked at it yet, but basically, Epic made the change, and then when the response by Apple was to take it down from the marketplace, take Fortnite down, Epic released a variant, a parody. I haven't looked at it, but a parody of the old 1984 Apple ad that was to challenge IBM's dominance in the marketplace, and is considered a very, very, very effective ad today. I mean, it's like in any marketing advertising class you would learn about this ad. These guys now. Yeah, this is how you get rid of these guys that will otherwise stand up and start emitting poisonous gas. Man, I don't remember the base to the swinging of this thing. That's probably just my memory. Because it hasn't been updated or something like that, so... Not for a while. The Coffee Stain is basically on summer vacation still. And it wouldn't surprise me if it's not like, the whole of the studio's on vacation. It's just how people have broken down their, have scheduled their vacations. It's like, yeah, we can't get major work done. Which is fine, they deserve a break, and the game is certainly very fun, has a lot to it, without that. Anyway, coming back to the Epic Apple thing, Epic released that trailer and also promptly sued Apple, claiming that it is monopolistic practices and that therefore they need to be stopped. And I think they also said somewhere that, yeah, we're not suing for like monetary damages or anything like that. We're suing to break Apple of these practices. It will be very interesting to see if they succeed. But also Google, because they have a similar policy that you can't get around basically that the purchases being made via their system and them getting it cut. Because of that, it's also been taken down there. But I didn't see anything like Epic is going after Google as well. And it would make some sense because with that, at least with Android, you can always just download and install the game separately. Apple is different because they don't let you sideload apps. So, yeah, it is a different situation between those two. So it makes some sense that Apple is more the target. But Epic prepared for this. They want this fight, and we will see what happens with that. And it could end up being significant. Sorry, I just wanted to clear an email I got that I actually wouldn't write this one up because I don't consider Google Stadia a PC game, but Rock of Ages 3 is now available on that. And I did get a press release for it. It's just, and I also just got like normal email kind of thing for it as well. But yeah, it's like I said, that because like PC games I will cover, but it's like this is Stadia. I don't feel the need to cover this one especially. But anyway, but imagine if Epic succeeds. What kind of precedent will that set elsewhere? Will that impact Steam? My guess is no, because except for Valve's own games, any developer would be free to go to Epic Games Store, go to Uplay, go to Origin, go to GOG. So and there's plenty of others as well. So it's just that might not see it, but we might see other things that end up being impacted by this. If there is a decision that Apple's wrong. On the other hand, what if Apple wins? What kind of changes might you see then? It will be very interesting. Now I'm just trying to think, was there any other news? Saw some rumors concerning like Ampere and such. It's like a top variant might have 20 gig of VRAM, but there might also be a version of that's only got 10 gig, and it's like, that seems a little, I mean, yes, you can typically see something like that where it's like, same card with the same like memory interface, you can like double the amount. It just may not be as efficient, but anyway, it still is like 20 gig. I mean, I figured that the reason why you got like 12 gig or 11 gig on some of the top end NVIDIA cards is because the controller fully unlocked supports that, or you could do half of it, but why would you? I mean, then you got like 5.5 gig. I mean, even the 60 class cards, the 1060 and 2060 at 6 gig would have more than that. That wouldn't make much sense, would it? Yeah, okay. I want to make sure. I didn't think there was anything to be loaded up there. I just want to head back to the base to dump some stuff. And then I'll be stopping. But I mean, I can believe that they'd stick on 20 gig, but it's also just like, why? I can understand 10 gig, I can understand 12 gig, I can understand 16 gig. 20 gig though? I mean, game sizes aren't that big yet. Well, sizes for what you need on the GPU are not that big yet. So it just, and there's a lot of neat tricks you can do to not need that much. So it seems weird that that's what they're going to, other than just them being like, because we can. Which is a reason, especially because, in a Halo product, you might as well do it because you can and just, enjoy. basically. I should... Oh. I should have refilled on the Noblesse. I still can though, that's easy. I got other stuff I should refill as well. I don't remember if I saw any new rumors this week for the AMD GPUs that are coming. There might have been, I just didn't see them or I'm not remembering them. But yeah, and I can't say this. It'll probably take me some time to do it all, but I can say that one of the things I've been hoping to do for a while, I will be able to start doing next week. Yay. It'll be a fun project. Yeah. I want to go fill up the Noblesse. And I got plenty of other things I want to do as well, though. I stepped back out of talking about this game. Like, I want to... Don't hold me to doing this, please. But I do want to, like, I go through and review the already available Serious Sam games, at least the Crow Team ones. Because there are the non-Crow Team ones as well. But I want to see about reviewing those ahead of Serious Sam 4 coming out. But I've got so many other things going on that are more time-pressing or more, I think, deserving of the attention, so we'll see. And that I've got also just so many other things I want to do. Like other reviews that I'd like to do where it's like, oh man, I really want to, but I didn't have the time to do them then, I'll do them later. It's been crazy, but like I said though, I got something coming up. I think it will be interesting. I hope others will agree. And I've made a good start to it already with had to install the Windows subsystem for Linux on my laptop. Well, I put on laptop by choice, but had to use that. And I don't think anyone is from that community guess what the hell is he doing. Maybe, but I kind of doubt it. Oh, one thing though, going back to the Serious Sam thing, if I do get around to doing a review of that, yeah, I'll do some graphics coverage. I am not touching the performance data. There's way too much performance data I have made for that game already. I will just link to that stuff if you want to go ahead and look at it there. I probably also wouldn't do... I actually do want to check something here. I also probably wouldn't do the graphics quality analysis because it's like, there's too much here. Because I'll be doing it through the Serious Sam Fusion. Yeah, Serious Sam Fusion 2017. Which is just filled with settings. That is nuts. Yeah, I have this set up to basically just be going at 100% efficiency, barely. Why is it like that? I might have actually filled up some of them intentionally that way. Wait, this doesn't... Oh, that's right, that's right. I remember now. I have it set up so that those only get the overflow. Yeah, because I want to make sure that I don't, like, have production stalling like it is on those two because, you know, on all of them, just because there isn't enough. That's right, that's why. Which means that the solution would be to put down more of these, but I'm kind of running out of room to do that. See. Anyway. Head on over to the Noblesse. I mean, at least that would be for the first and second encounter. The Serious Sam stuff, I wouldn't do the graphics coverage there. At least not that detailed of coverage. Serious Sam 3, that I might need to, if I get to that. But man, one thing that'll be weird is that technically I don't know about the second encounter, but Serious Sam 3 takes place before Serious Sam, the first encounter, and Serious Sam 4 takes place before Serious Sam 3. I don't remember the situation for Serious Sam 2 though, because I can't remember if that actually is Pro Team title or not. It might be. It's just weird how they had the whole. There's the licensed, so they are official games, but they're not by Pro Team. They're by independent developers. And I think Serious Sam 2 might be one of those. I can check in a little bit, but I want to refill on the dynamite. There. Okay, no, Serious Sam 2 was developed by Crow Team. Okay. I need to remember if I have it. I might not. I got first encounter and second encounter, Jewel of the Nile, Legend of the Beast, and BFE, which is Serious Sam 3. Oh no, I do have it. It just isn't. It isn't part of Fusion 2017. I wonder why. And then I do have some of the licensed things like Serious Sam Double D, Serious Sam Kamikaze Attack, the Random Encounter. Yeah, I think that was mainly there was a Serious Sam Humble Bundle kind of thing. Alright, well with that, I'm gonna head out so I can rest, get some sleep, and get ready to start working on some of this stuff. Because the stuff that I was mentioning that I have set up on the laptop, that I can start working on the write-up for that right away. I don't need to wait for some other stuff to arrive first. Should all be fun though. Should all be. Anyway, see you next time.